Hey everybody, it's the Captain here, and holy cow, do we have a bunch of email requests to get to. And if you have an email request or a consulting question or video request, you need something, and it takes my time, you could pay me. Go to assholeconsulting.com, where and people are like, do you really make it? Yeah, actually I do. It's an awesome world. It's crazy. I knew being an asshole and a jerk would pay off someday. Being a nice guy never pays off. Being a jerk does. Anyway, a writer writes, "My dearest Captain, I don't want your advice because I don't think you have the experience needed to deal with my problems." This guy's he wants to share. He's trying to help you kids out, you boys out there. And he paid me to do this. So it's an awesome world, like I said. I've been married twice, currently still in my second marriage in the 9th year. We are both 40 years old. I married a single mother and also had a kid with this woman of our own. I know. So yeah, he knows. There were so many red flags that could have saved me from this crazy bitch, but my dick was blinded by the poon. The poon was so powerful, my rationalization hamster was running on rocket fuel. She has over $150,000 in student debt. Oh God, I got out. You can predict was she a doctor, a surgeon? Who wants to take those odds? After getting a speech communications degree at a feminist school. Her next step was to go into more debt, of course, and get through grad school. She got kicked out of grad school and blames it on me. Still has no job, will not get a job, tries to hold out for some job she won't get with her worthless bachelor's degree. Oh, these women are just... That's where ego gets in the way. You lie to them when they're youth. You tell them bullshit. And then when reality hits, they think, oh, the world's out to get them. It could never be them. You know? She still blames me to this day for her failures in school, which, I don't know. I refuse to pay the vast majority of her student debt, and I will never pay it. I did agree to pay some of her grad school debt to appear supportive, triage. I am forced to settle into a traditional conservative lifestyle. She does the traditional housework, etc. I am the typical beta male provider. I am powerless to combat her legally, and will never let the family courts ever get their claws into my bank account or custody rights. I constantly remind this woman of how state involvement into our lives through divorce will ruin our financial stability and the lives of our kids. There are so many statistics you can use to show her the facts. I'm surprised she's listening to them, because I pre-read this a little bit before. I always pre-read them so I know to get some pointers. But she now understands the consequences of a divorce and doesn't want to do that to our kids. Well, that's great. Usually women who get degrees in that where there's no math don't understand math. They don't know the difference between a million, a billion, and a trillion, and 1,000. It's just money. So that's good that you won one really key, huge battle. My kids need 2 sane parents to develop into quality people, and we both understand this. Well, good for you guys. You do have to give, as much as you guys hate each other, you do have to give her credit on that. That's not a lot of gals, especially with that leftist indoctrination bullshit that they get. They're so myopic and self-centered that for her to display that level of altruism and true care for her kids, that's pretty cool. Given her inability to do basic logic, I am amazed she can stop the crying and bitching long enough to understand that reality. She's a real bitch, but that's okay. I found out the hard way how to live with a bitch like this and tell her. Well, don't you guys have separate kind of we had one family when I went to school. They were married, but they only did it for the kids, but they still had people that were dating on the side. It took some planning, but I think if you guys could, if you found this common ground, you could work common ground in other places and make it so each other is tolerable to one another. So, I know there are many guys out there like me. We white-knighted our lives into slavery, and thanks to our deadbeat wives and the predatory family court system, we can't escape it unless you have a fuck ton of money. I make over 6 figures, but it really isn't enough to escape this day and age. This message is for those guys, and the following is my guide on how to manage the bullshit. How to make your pitiful existence tolerable since you can't escape. This works for me. And I've read through it. This dude is spot on, so you boys pay attention. 1, I save money in i.e. Bitcoin. It is so cheap to buy right now. Well, it could also go down, so don't take that as investment advice from me. But he's saving money somehow. Do not tell her about it. If you have to tell her about it Have 2 places to save your Bitcoin and show her the wallet that rarely gets small amounts added to it. Make sure it is a cold storage wallet she can't spend from. If you have 401ks or pensions, only pay the minimum because you have to stop contributing to her payout. Save the majority in ways she cannot touch. Bitcoin can't be forced out of your control by any authority. So that's pretty cool. 1A, also always password protect your phone and use the Bitcoin as an excuse to do so. Phones today are liabilities given the advent of cryptocurrency. 2, do not let her have access to your bank account in any way, shape, or fashion. Always have at least $200 to $300 in cash on hand when she needs to get household items, so you are never tempted to hand her a debit card. Debit card, plastic, or credit card, and even then, low balance. You never want her to touch your plastic. 3, if she whines about not knowing how much you have to spend, tell her to get a fucking job if she wants to see a bank balance that has a number that doesn't resemble 0. Make sure you look really fucking pissed when you say, see, this is what has always kept women in check, guys. And it's guys. And you get boiled down to it. All this feminism, all this stuff where the women are getting preferential treatment. It started with wimpy guys thinking being nice and being a supplicating, putting the women on and singing their praises and doing exactly what they wanted would get you somewhere. And it doesn't. You draw the fucking line in the sand. You tell her, and anytime there's the door. Now, unfortunately, this guy's married. He can't do that. But you guys got to be men. And I know, especially you younger boys out there, you are all like, oh, she's pretty, and you're programmed to think that way. You think about falling in love, you just want to have sex, and you think, well, she could never be that. No, they are programmed to suck resources from you. That's how humans have survived. It's not an irony or coincidence that they're defaulting into a traditional household relationship, even though they hate each other. Most functionally, most practical, the guy, typically, not always, but the guy makes the money and the woman takes care of the household. And you gotta draw that fucking line, guys. You gotta tell a woman no. Tell them the most powerful and wonderful world in the world for women, or for men to tell women, is no. You always gotta back it up. You always say, there's the door. And you can say, I'm leaving. Or you get the fuck out. Alright? So, guys, I don't care how nice the titties are. You hold yourself, and you hold them to some standards, and you treat yourself with some self-respect. I established an allowance. I don't pay her the allowance unless I get a blowjob. Oh, wow, look at that. Well, that's prostitution. Like marriage wasn't? Like it isn't already? 5. Every male utility task she ever mentions directly or indirectly requested of me is an opportunity to negotiate a sex act out of her. Really, I thought if you guys hate each other, well, what is it? Just like a hate fuck? Is that what it is? And, if a guy's got to go cut the wood or repair the lawnmower or something, you could. You obviously sound like this is not a mutually beneficial relationship. You guys are at each other's throats. So I guess you do have to negotiate and pay for this. When this happens, make sure you are brutally honest about what and why you are negotiating. Women like this are prostitutes. Well, yeah, that's it. They have one John. They just have one John, so get your money's worth. Okay, so I would just basically, if the well is dry and they start asking you to do man chores, like change the oil, and you don't help around the house, guys, that's such a big lie. You don't do dishes. You're right, I'm too busy fucking change the oil. You want to get underneath the car and change the oil? Go right ahead. Oh, your car doesn't start. Oh, but I don't vacuum enough? Let me see. Who's going to go look at that car starter and risk electrifying himself? Let me see. 6, treat her like crap. Yeah, well, yes, in your particular condition. 7, never buy her flowers. 8, have a man cave that is not attached to your house you are paying for. Spend a fuck ton of time in your man cave. 9, if she tries to start any fucking argument at all, shut the fuck up, go to the man cave. If she tries to invade your cave to keep screaming and bitching at you, get in the car and go spend her allowance at the titty bar. When she asks for her allowance, tell her why you don't have it, and make no fucking excuses. See, this all hinges though on you having this gal adhering to the agreement that you're in it for the kids. So she really is she is beholden to you because you got the money. So if you have that one key strength, that's the only thing I think you can get away with it. Only let her in the man cave if she's going to perform sexual service, and then kick her out after you blow your... Even I get a little too crass. So, stop sleeping in your marital bed. Women hate sleeping alone. Always take care of your child-rearing responsibilities, and then go straight to the man cave, even if she is acting right. Be indifferent. 12. When you do fuck her, make sure it's really hot, sweaty, grunge. I'm trying to be somewhat polite. Never be gentle. If it's too rough for her, then stop putting on a week or two. Rarely allow her to orgasm. Holy shit, man, you're pissed. I am not necessarily agreeing with these. I mean, there's some, there's a finer line to be drawn. But if you hate each other, I guess so. I do all this and she subconsciously loves it. Less crying, less bitching. They need... Good Lord. Be a total fucking dick, jerk, asshole, or your married life will suck. She will stay with you forever and will always want more. Please do a video on this and let me know your fee. Thanks, me. Anyway, I don't know if I necessarily go that far. You do know there's that fine line between treating them, like genuinely treating them like shit, almost being abusive, and ignoring them. And you gotta learn to ignore them. But then again, if you run into gals that hate you, or they're just psycho, in which case, yeah, then you do treat them like shit. You never abuse. You never do that. But hold the money back, absolutely. Get the fuck out of here, absolutely. Treat them as good as they treat you, and it's amazing how much quickly they'll start treating you nicer. And you're like, oh, okay. But in any case, so yeah, he just wanted to share that with you for all you married guys that are stuck in a marriage with a woman that hates your guts. And boys, boy almighty, don't fall into that, man. Don't fall into it. You find a good girl, and you take your time. You take your fucking time to find a really nice girl. And they're batshit insane women out there, boys. I'm really sorry. I wish, like I said, 1 in 100. Only 1 in 100. And that's empirically, statistically proven. Best of luck and toodles.